Hey, what's up everyone? This is Nick, and today we're doing another collectible review. We're doing a comparison between the Cinemark Alien Popcorn Head for Alien Romulus and the Regal Cinemas Alien Romulus Popcorn Head. So we're going to do a comparison, we're going to look at the details, we're going to see them side by side over in the review station, and this will hopefully help you decide which one you should track down. I'll see you in the review station. Okay, so we're going to first do a direct side-by-side comparison between the two buckets. This is the Regal on your left, this is the Cinemark on your right, and they're both a lot larger than I expected them to be. For a quick size comparison, here's just a banana in there for scale, so they're pretty big. And I would say they're probably going to hold a lot of popcorn, probably at least a medium, maybe a large size at most theaters. Now, in the front, you can see the Cinemark one is definitely wider, but it does display shorter, and I think that's because it just doesn't have the neck sculpted on it like the Regal one does. And they're both pretty long, but they're actually about the same length. I would say the Regal one is maybe just an inch longer. And then I do have a ruler here. We'll go ahead, we'll take a look at this. The Regal one is at least a foot, and that's probably 15 inches from the jaws to the rear of the dome. And I'm going to guess this one's probably about an inch shorter. So this one here, about a foot, about 14 inches long. Now let's go ahead, let's look at the Cinemark one up close, because I believe this is the one that everybody knew about first. This is the one where images leaked online of it first. And as far as I know, these were the first ones popping up on eBay in the secondary market. I'm going to tell you what I like most about each of these, and then I'm going to leave it up to you to decide which one you think is best. So we do have some very nicely sculpted teeth. We have the lips curled back, and we have all these really nice biomechanical details. And there is a very nice metallic wash that's very heavy on the teeth that makes the teeth look chrome, and then the metallic wash really helps bring out all the biomechanical sculpt work on the side of the head. There is some very light dry brushing that's applied to the top of the dome here to give the illusion that there is a sense of translucency. It is also sculpted with some very, very, very subtle bumps in there that give the sense that there is something underneath there, because it does help the light bounce around, as you can see there. There are some, I guess you would call them brush strokes. I've seen them very, very heavy on some, to the point in which it looks really bad, very artificial. Thankfully, I got one where they're barely there at all. It seems like most of them have kind of like somewhere in between where they are pretty noticeable, more so like this one here. But yeah, I have seen some that do just straight up look like brush strokes, and that's kind of like a bluish gray paint that's applied. But the metallic paint has a really nice sheen to it. I think it helps the creature look very wet. On the shelf, I think it looks really, really good from the side like that. I think the mouth looks well proportioned. Now the head looks short. It doesn't seem like it comes back far enough. Also, this does seem to be based more so on previous Alien designs, at first glance, I think it looks kind of like kind of an amalgamation of perhaps like the AVP designs and the Covenant design. But if I had to give a specific one, I'd say it's probably based on the Covenant design, based on this bone-looking piece right here. And just like the overall design of this side portion. One thing that I don't like is how square the jaws look in the front. I think the teeth look kind of big for the overall size of the head, and they just look a little too square. And you can see this assembly scene in the harsh light. It's not too noticeable otherwise. One thing to keep in mind, this is a relatively inexpensive collectible. It's somewhere between $20 and $30 at most Cinemark theaters, and it's not a high-end collector's collectible. For what it is, I think it is very well done. So we do have the Alien Romulus only in theaters, and there is this handle in there so that you can hold it like so, which is really cool. I like that. Now let's go ahead, let's take a look at the Regal. Now the Cinemark one we just looked at, I did have to order that one online because I don't have Cinemark theaters anywhere around me. I think the closest one might be like an hour or two away. This one I was able to go in and pick up in person at my local Regal cinemas. And then I intend to see the movie at an AMC theater, so hopefully I'll be able to pick up their offering when I'm there, which is a tin with a face hugger sculpted around it. If not, if they don't have it, that's fine. I'm happy with these. I consider myself lucky I was able to pick up one, let alone two of them. Now, this is the Regal one, and the thing that I noticed most about this one right away, which is really cool, is we do have the neck sculpted here. And I believe that this is probably like a better proportioned interpretation of the creature, because again, the jaws are a little bit smaller, and even though overall it's not that much bigger than the other one, as you saw in the size comparison, since they made the jaws a little bit smaller at the front here, it does seem to be better proportioned, and it does have a longer rear section. In fact, this reminds me, at least presentation-wise, sculpt-wise, just the basic intent of what they were going for, of the, I think they were Sideshow Collectibles alien heads that were, now granted, those were like high-end collectibles, so it's kind of apples to oranges. And it also reminds me of the Alien Anthology DVD case, because that one had like a neck for the base as well. Speaking of the base, it does say Alien Romulus, only in theaters, on the underside as well. Now, the other thing that I noticed right away about this one is there are no chrome or metallic looking teeth. They are just white. Now, I do think these teeth are better proportioned. I think that they're better sculpted than the other ones. But, again, they are just white plastic. I do like that we get the inner jaw. I think the inner jaw is very well done there. And then these are, there's like a gap in between these tendons, these muscular pieces here, which is really cool. So it adds a lot of depth to the sculpt. Of course, you have that lip curl effect here. Now this is, I can say, definitely based on the Alien Romulus head, the creature from the new film, because of the front portion of the dome here. Now, there are no ridges sculpted in this dome, and there is no paint application to suggest that there's any kind of like ribbed featuring there. Now, all of the detail here is very like impressionistic. It's very, very subtle. As you can see in the lighting there, it does look biomechanical, but it's very, very, very soft. It's a very light sculpt. It almost looks like when you see a sculptor working on something and they just do that first pass through and they haven't gone in and refined the details yet. This is what that looks like, primarily in the side and neck area. I believe that's just kind of the trade-off. We're getting a better sculpted mouth, an inner jaw, better proportions. We're getting the neck. We're getting the design based off of the new creature, but the trade-off is your biomechanical designs are not going to be as richly defined. And also, there is no metallic paint wash on the other, like we have on the Cinemark one. So again, the teeth aren't silver, and there is no metallic wash that would help bring out any of the detailing that we do have on the side here. It is cast in a plastic. It does have a very nice sheen on it, though. There's a few areas where it almost looks like there's like assembly points. So like in the harsh lighting, you could see this little circular like divot there and there and there, but they're not like indentations or anything. I don't think they disrupt the sculpt. I think if this sculpt was a little bit sharper and it had a little bit of a paint wash on it, I think it would probably be the better one, as long as it had the silver paint on the teeth. Now, I have not opened this one up yet, so it looks like we have a little tab that we push in, and then that opens up really easily. And you can put popcorn. It looks the whole way, looks like it's the whole way to the front of the head. It's kind of hard to see back there because it is really dark. And then the whole way to the rear as well. And it looks like it doesn't close the whole way unless you push the tab in. So like in the theater, for example, if you were eating out of this, I wouldn't keep untabbing and then tabbing it. I think that would make too much noise. So I think I would just either keep it open or rest it shut if you didn't want to make a lot of noise. Now for the other one, that one does seem to open and close a little bit quieter. And yeah, I'd say, so with this one, the popcorn really would just go the whole way to the back and a little bit up into the dome. I think this one's actually going to hold a little bit more. I think because you could store popcorn like all the way up to here. And this one, it's really just here to here. But it is a little bit wider, but I still don't think that fully compensates for it. So if that's important to you, just something to keep in mind. So final thoughts here. I'm kind of torn as to which one I like better. I think the pros for the Cinemark one are we do have the very rich biomechanical sculpt with the nice metallic paintwork that helps bring out those details, and the metallic chrome looking teeth. And then the downside for this one is it does seem to be based more so on the Covenant design rather than the current film design. And I do think that the proportions are a little bit off for the head, and the teeth look a little large. The mouth looks a little square from the front. On this one, it's kind of the opposite. I think this one does have the better proportions. It is based off of the new Romulus creature design, better proportions and sculpt work in the mouth area, but the detailing is not as rich in regards to the side area of the head, and there is no nice paint wash to help bring out what detail is there, and of course the teeth are not metallic. So it's really up to you. I guess you have to decide which is more important to you. If you really want one that I'd say is based on 100% the new film and seems to be a larger piece that has better sculpted teeth and an inner jaw, I would definitely pick up the Regal Cinemas head. If you want one that has some better sculpt work and some better paint work, then I would definitely pick up the Cinemark version. So if you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.